Yes, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you also to the Internet Foundation for having us here today. Yeah, my name is Patrizia Mosca. I'm COO and Executive Producer. I'm running the company together with Philipp Detmer, who founded the company in 2013. And to give you a first introduction, what is Kurzgesagt? Maybe some of you know us, maybe some of you don't. I'm gonna show you our channel trailer, which gives an overview.
Humans are apes with smartphones, living on a tiny moist rock which is speeding around a burning sphere 1,000,000 times bigger than itself. But our star is only 1 in billions in the Milky Way, which itself is only 1 in billions of galaxies. Everything around us is filled with complexity, but usually we don't notice because being a human takes up a lot of time. So, we try to explain the universe and our existence one video at a time. What is life? Are there aliens? What happens if you step on a black hole? If you want to find out, you should click here and subscribe to the Kurzgesagt in a Nutshell YouTube channel.
So, in a nutshell, that was what we're doing. And yeah, the heart of Kurzgesagt is really our YouTube channel. Right now, we have 7+ million subscribers. We, since a few weeks or 2 months, are the biggest YouTube channel in Germany. We have per month 150,000 new subscribers, and our videos reach between 3 and 10 million views per videos. Our videos are always science related, and we are worldwide also amongst the biggest science YouTube channels. Talking about the topics we provide on our channel, of course, it's a lot of space where we have different approaches, really from classic topics like what is a black hole, also to a bit humorous more approaches like what happens if you have a small black hole in your pocket, in your trouser pocket, and also what would be if Earth is a prison. Another part is biology, where we have done videos about NTDs, which is not a very sexy topic, which is neglected tropical diseases, and Ebola. We explained malaria. And then, of course, technology, what is going to happen with automation. We are currently, or for a long time, working on something about AI, which might be up in the future. And then, of course, last but not least, physics, also mostly related to space. How did everything begin? In 2013, basically, Philip was finished with his university, and he wanted to see how long can you work on a project until it's very perfect without any deadlines or without any client in your background who pushes you or without someone. And the first video he produced, it was with his final exams of university. It was the solar system. And he wrote the script. He did all the illustrations. A friend of him did the animation, and other friends did the music. And he thought, oh yeah, why not upload it to YouTube? And well, how should we call it? Yeah, let's say Kurzgesagt, because that's what it shows. It's a solar system explained in a nutshell. He kind of, hit a nerve, because even the first videos got over 150,000 views. Very, yes, popular science wrote an article about it, and also very famous science YouTubers shared the video. So the next video then, what he did was the video about fracking, and also there he hit a nerve, because fracking in 2013 was the topic, and this video went viral. So that's where the story of Kurzgesagt began, because then also other requests came. And then he had the feeling, oh, maybe this could be something. But it was never supposed to be a company, or to really, okay, I have this success now on YouTube, let's do a company out of it. It was really that, we were sitting in a backyard in Munich, and Philip was doing videos, I was doing other freelance work, other friends were doing the music, so it was never supposed to become a company. Yeah, but then the videos got more and more, so by now we have around 85, 80, 87 videos. And to give you an overview how all this works, let's take a look behind the scenes. And maybe let's start also with our first most important principle for Kurzgesagt. If the initial plan doesn't work out, we change it, and quality is our top priority. So going back to the first thought Philip had when Kurzgesagt started, this is still our top priority. Quality goes overall with Kurzgesagt. And of course, you need people to assure the quality, and beside the single departments, it's also that we, the team from the producers, take care that everything is going to be produced when it's going to be produced. So this is our huge planning wall where the whole year is on. Then the next part is always this research and script, and also where all the ideas come from. Most of the ideas come from topics we are interested ourselves, and of course, mostly out of Philip's head. So what do they do? Of course, they do a lot of research, they read, they they spend a lot of time on Reddit, on the internet, on different conferences. So first, for every video, once the topic is concrete, there's a lot of research. So the usual process is research, then we write a first script draft until we think it is that fine that we can show it to scientists. By now, we have a huge network of scientists, so we almost get feedback on every topic we need. So we check back with different scientists that the facts are very accurate, because also here we have the fact that quality starts with the very first seed, and the very first seed for the video is the script. And then after, it looks here like research script, scientist feedback, and final script. It's not that easy. It's often between 5 or 10 drafts, or sometimes even 20. Or in very special cases, like with a project we did with the Swiss National Fund about black holes, the scientists even came to our office for 2 days and did a workshop with Elizabeth and Philip to really go deep into string theory. So the main conclusion here is, how do we do these scripts and how are they so easy digestible? Basically, we are not experts ourselves, but we ask the questions our viewers would ask. So once we feel and once we get confirmed from scientists that the script for the video is a round thing, then we can move on to the next stage, which is the illustration. And the illustration, we also have a team of illustrators. They are first in huge exchange with the script department. So once the script is ready, even the first draft goes quickly to the head of designs, which is 2 persons, and they give a quick check whether everything is understandable. And then once the final script draft is ready, it goes into the illustration department, design department, and then they have a kickoff where they solve all open questions on the topic, because sometimes it's that the person who writes the script has specific ideas about the illustration, and then there are so many, the illustrators, they are not in contact with the scientists, so therefore they need to rely on the facts and on the knowledge of our script department. So first they do scribbles, like really by hand. Some do it on the computer. This is really particular how everyone works. And here we see a scribble of a video, and in the next image we see how it's then going as an executed vector graphic file. All our videos are in vector graphic files. And here we have another example, how it looks from the first sketch to the final animation here already included, to see a little bit more. This is how a fully storyboard is executed as scribbles. Sometimes it's going also to be colorated to get a better sense how it works afterwards. And then once this is done, we move over to transfer everything, every element into vector graphics in Adobe Illustrator. And also for the illustration, we have kind of a principle, and the principle is always the story takes center stage. It's not that we do want to write all the facts that we want to visualize the facts one to one. We always try to create to present the story in context, and therefore also for the illustrations, it's super important not to take the information which is in the script and then transform it one to one on the illustration. So to give you an overview how such a illustration could look like, I brought you a video we did for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is also a very dry topic. It's about the topic of maternal mortality, but we put it into a story, which started in Vienna. So here you see some screenshots, and with the next screen, I'm going to show you the video.
Knowledge is power. How data saves mothers' lives. In the middle of the 19th century, something strange was going on in the world's largest maternity hospital in Vienna. In the first wing, in which medical students were taught, every 10th mother died of childbed fever. Back then, this infection was the most common cause of deaths for mothers. But in the second wing, in which midwives were taught, only 1 in 25 mothers died of the disease. How could this be? The young Dr. Ignaz Semmelweis had a suspicion. The two wings must be doing something fundamentally different. He noticed that in the first wing, the medical students took turns helping to give birth and attending autopsies of women who had died of childbed fever. Students and doctors worked in daytime clothes instead of clean lab coats and went straight from autopsy to delivery without washing their hands. The midwives did only one thing: deliver babies. It was years before the role of bacteria in diseases was known. But Semmelweis had just discovered that childbed fever was contagious and the doctors themselves were transmitting the disease. He also found out that the cause of the disease could be destroyed through chemicals and encouraged the use of disinfection. The result, the number of deaths in the medical students' wing dropped by 2/3. Over 20 years went by before hygiene and antisepsis became routine practice. But it was discoveries like this that tipped the scales for maternal mortality, gathering data and making observations often long before the bigger picture of the problem was known. Things have improved since. Thanks to Finland's extensive population statistics, we know that in the 1800s, 1 in 100 births led to the death of the mother. At an average of 5 children per woman, that was a lot. Today, fewer than 1 in 30,000 births end with the death of the mother in Finland. That is the lowest maternal mortality worldwide. But this progress does not happen automatically. There are still countries where per birth 1 in 200 women dies. The difference is that we know now that improvement is possible and how to make it happen, by using data to identify solutions that would be overlooked otherwise. Ethiopia's health worker program, for example, decreased child mortality, but still too many mothers died in birth. However, the data they collected showed a connection between maternal deaths and giving birth at home. Ethiopia now focuses on getting more women to health facilities for delivery, and because of that, the maternal mortality rate has declined to less than 1/3 within just 1 generation. Gathering data means we can learn what works, whether in Austria more than a century ago or in Ethiopia today. Our records tell us about the progress, and without them, progress could not have been made. Now it's on us to make the most of this knowledge by funding health, doing research, and keeping progress going.
All right, so here you already saw a fully animated video, which leads us to our next production stage, which is the animation. Our animation department brings all the illustrations to life, which were first created in illustration, and also here they are in close exchange with the illustration departments. For all our videos, you can say that we have, it's not one feedback round, it's like thousands. Maybe we are our own worst client, if you want so. But yeah, again, referring to the initial thought, if the initial plan doesn't work out, then we move it till it's perfect. Yeah, and instead of showing you animation screenshots, I'm going to show you how animation works with Kurzgesagt in a short video. Oh, wait. Yes.
You and me forever walking.
So, better buy organic meat, where animals are treated nicely, right?
This was from one of our latest videos from meat. And yeah, as you have seen there in the video, it is very many little steps to do. And to give an overview how long one Kurzgesagt video takes, it's between 500 and 900 working hours until the video we produce for our YouTube channel is ready. And of course, it's not finished with the animation. We have our music and sound design department, which for every video creates a unique, very own composed video on the final animation. And once the video is ready, we distribute it on YouTube, and it goes out to the world. And beside YouTube, we have, of course, sponsorship on our YouTube channel, and we do contract work, which is not uploaded on our channel. And now probably the most, or also most interesting question is, because it's not the smartest business model to produce videos for free for the internet, you might want to ask, how can you sustain and how can we keep the business going? As mentioned before, we have sponsored content. Then we have commercial work, and then we have classic advertising from YouTube, but that's not a source we rely on. And Patreon, which is a source we rely on very much. We are super happy to have all these Patreons supporting us. To give you an example what sponsored content could be, so in the upper right part, we have a content sponsorship from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They sponsored the video about malaria. It works for the content sponsorships in that way that Kurzgesagt keeps 100% creative freedom for the video. So the sponsor sees the video once it is uploaded on YouTube, and the sponsor grants us 100% creative freedom. We of course always want to have the sponsor look good. We don't want to have it to feel like advertising, and we want to produce a video we are proud ourselves of, and we want to have a video which our audience is proud of. And then in the lower section, we see like a classic advertising sponsorship that was for Audible, and there the sponsor just buys a little spot at the very end. This is also another example for sponsorship we did with Ariane. That was the only and first and only sponsorship where we incorporated a product, the Ariane rocket, but we could not incorporate the video. It was the video about why Earth is a prison and how do you escape Earth in a rocket. So therefore, that's the only time we really put a product in one of our videos. Another sponsorship was for the Australian Academy of Science. These videos were the first sponsorships we ever did. They approached us and sent us a list of 100 topics and asked us, hey, Kurzgesagt, do you want to do 3 of them? And so we did the death of bees, dark energy, and quantum computers. Quantum computers by today is still the most seen video about quantum computers. And that's also one thing we always try, and of course we do not succeed every time, but that's our approach. We want to own a video in the internet, and that's what we achieve sometimes, but of course not every time. Here's for the Bill and Melinda Gates video, the malaria sponsorship, and also again the sample from maternal mortality. And what's the conclusion? Why it works? Kurzgesagt is a full team effort. We would not succeed with our full team. By now, we are 25 people based in Munich, and due to the workload, we are growing. But Kurzgesagt would not be that what it is today without the full team. So it's not one person behind everything. Of course, Philip founded everything, but today we would not be able to produce this high quality without our big team. Then, very important, always find the story. In every even so dry topic, you can find it. You can find definitely a story around it. And as I said earlier, it's always that we try to put everything into context. We just don't want to do and explain a video in that way that this is Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller has a problem. We solve this problem in that way. So therefore, we always try to put things in context. And of course, we always try to approach things with a humorous approach to put things in perspective, and also to keep the video entertaining but still scientifically correct. And then what we also do is that we use all the tools at its maximum, from the illustration to the script, as well to the music. That's why we compose for each video the music. Because the videos, they have a 30 to 40% higher impact. Of course, we have Steve, our Kurzgesagt narrator, and we always try to use everything which is possible and to make the most out of it. And last but not least, as said in the beginning, work until it's perfect. That means also that, of course, we write a script, and sometimes we have the feeling it's not yet there. So what do? We just put it aside, and sometimes it lays there for a month, sometimes for half a year, sometimes for even a year. Or, for example, for the human history video, we wrote on the script for roughly 1 year, and also the CRISPR video was, of course, a heavy research, and it took very, very long for the research. So yeah, thank you very much. In a nutshell, that was it.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thanks. It's wonderful. We have time for some questions. I'm very impressed. I can only think of 2 other film companies or production houses that do this thing where they just keep working until it's done. One is very well known for this, of course, it's Pixar also, and the other one is also animation. I think that the Simpsons TV show, they do that with scripts. They will write for a year until it's very funny, and then they will do it. So maybe for most of us who don't have unlimited time, how do you know if it's good enough or not? Like when you read it, how do you know when it's finished? Because maybe that we could learn from.
It's a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling, and sometimes the gut feeling is today different than it's next week. So there's no rule for it.
Does somebody have final say, or do you?
Of course, Philip
yeah.
has the final say. He's the creative director, and he has the quality control of all scripts, of all illustrations, and of all animations. Yeah.
It's amazing. So many of us do work with explaining other kinds of complex information to people. Are there, do you think, any kind of universal principles about how to communicate complex things?
Not boring.
Not boring. Okay.
And bring things in context. Of course, you can't. Put a very serious topic when it's about death or something with a too humorous approach, but putting things in context and trying to keep it not really entertaining, but yeah.
Not quite. So entertaining, what would be another word? That's not entertaining if it's too dark, but like, I don't know, exciting?
Yeah.
So it could also be, narrative structure.
Yeah.
Would you say that there are things that you do at Kurzgesagt today that you didn't do at the beginning? Has your method developed?
Loads.
Few examples.
Like when we started, or when the Kurzgesagt proper company was founded in 2015, we were 5, and of course everything was super easy to talk to, and we didn't have like processes. So right now there's a particular process to how to develop a Kurzgesagt video, and we are just re-improving it. So yeah, meanwhile we are a company and we need to have these things. So rules are important.
That's funny because I think you've said somewhere in an interview I saw online that you said that from a marketing perspective you did everything wrong about Kurzgesagt. You have broken all the rules.
Yes.
And I think with YouTube at least we often hear that you have to post all the time and there has to be so much content, otherwise it will never work on YouTube. And you're breaking that rule as well.
Yep, I think the first thing is from the marketing perspective, we never did any advertising. We never pushed it, or we did any press releases, or we wanted to. It was organic growth and it was organic reach because of the quality and because of the accuracy. That's also something which is super important for the whole team, that everyone who works on a video, once it is released, the person who designed it sits in front of their computer and reads almost 1 or 2 hours of all the comments, because you create something which 1 million people is going to see. And about the second question.
About YouTube, about how often you post.
How often we post, that's also, again, related to the quality. People probably, I don't know, we don't know, see us like a series, so they are waiting for the next episode. And as the quality is so high, they are keen on waiting, and they are okay with waiting. So it works for our channel, but it does not have necessarily work. It depends on the content. Of course, there are particular contents they need to be more pushy, but for our content it would not work.
But for something, I mean, if we're thinking about communicating public information or teaching skills like digital skills, it could also be about relevance. So you don't have to do quality with production value necessarily. You could do quality in other ways. The writing can still be very good, even if you're a library or something like that. That's great. I wonder, I guess in the end, that the visuals are very playful. It makes me very happy to look at these pictures. How important would you say that that is for your work?
It's super important. There is a study which shows that our videos have, they can overgo in socialized defense mechanisms through the storytelling and through the visuals. That even, for example, if it's a topic you, for example, are totally not interested and you'd say, no, I don't want to hear anything about that. The videos have the power to really intrigue and suck people into, and afterwards people are like, oh, interesting, I learned something.
I have to say, I wish my science teachers would have used Kurzgesagt when I was in school. I would have a completely different career now.
We get a lot of requests from teachers, and teachers are always welcome to show our material in school.
So yes, that you answered my next question. We are allowed to show the material in school, and also to embed it. All of this information is on your website as well. But maybe just in case somebody immediately wants to share it, what are the rules?
You always can use Kurzgesagt videos for schools, universities. When you stream it from the internet, please do not download it due to copyright regulations. But we see ourselves also as ambassadors of knowledge transfer to the world. So go ahead.
That's wonderful. Patrizia, thank you so much for coming. We have some emergency chocolates for you, and we have made a donation to the Civil Rights Defenders Organization in your name.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.